Boom! If you want to know how I got these brows and how I did them, stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaja and this is another video in my Back to Basics series. I'm going to show you a really easy 3-step method in how I take the very faded microbladed brow and change it into this beautifully sculpted brow. I like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the colour dark brown. I also use just 3 brushes, one for the brow product, one for concealer, and one fluffy brush just to blend everything out. So the first tip I'd like to give you is to measure your brows. And what I mean by this is to find where your brow should start using the end of your nose and the inner corner of your eye. I find where my arch should be using the center of my eye that lines up with the end of my nose. And I find out where the tail of my brow should be that also lines up with the end of my nose. Okay, so I did film doing both my brows, but on editing I found that my hand was in the way, so you couldn't actually see what I was doing properly doing my first brow. But doing the second brow, it's a lot clearer and you can see every step that I do. I've also left it in real time so you can see exactly how long it takes me to do my brows. After I brush my brows, I always brush them upwards. I like to create guidelines for myself, so I outline my brows. And I start outlining my brows with at the bottom of my brow, and I stop where I think my arch should be, and I do the same on the top. And if you want your brows to be a little bit thicker or a little bit slimmer, then this is where you would draw the necessary guidelines. I also double check my measurements, so I just check really quickly with my brush again where my arch should be and where the start of my brow is, and just to see if I'm going in the right direction. Having checked where my tail should end, I just focus on how thick I want the end of my eyebrow to be. Once I'm happy with that, I go in and fill in the rest of my brow with my brow product. I do like to move the product upwards towards my hairline. I think this just helps the product go where I want it to go and stay where I put it. Now for my favourite part, concealing and tidying up my brow. This is also the last step of the whole process. I like to really carve out the arch of my brow at this point, just down to personal preference. I really like a sharp arch. I also would like to note that I use a lighter colour concealer, or rather the colour I use to prime my eyelid for eyeshadow. And I do this just to avoid there being too many colours in one space and for blending out later. I also like to use a more skin-toned colour for the top of my brow, just again so it blends in well with my foundation. Using a small fluffy brush, I do go in and blend out the concealer. I'm someone who doesn't like a heavy or blocky brow at the front, so I do go in with a spoolie just to soften that up. This is pretty much the entire process of how I get my brows. So just to recap, there are 3 steps. So 1, I would measure your brow, measure the points of where your brow should start and where your arch is and where your tail should end. Then you want to outline your brows just to get a guideline of where you want your product to go and how thick or how thin you want your brows to be. And we go in and we conceal, we tidy up, and we make everything look really shiny and perfectly sculpted. So guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Please share this video if you think it will help somebody. And I will see you on the other side. We out.